and on my mind a lot as of late, and it's one of those political things that is really worrying me because politics is never just politics. Politics are people's lives, no matter who you are, politics affect you. And one of those things is that we've now seen this like rise of like the tradwife. We have the OG tradwives, which is like a Cinderella fantasy kind of thing. But then we have these new, even more insidious tradwives, which are very anti-women, anti-science, and just honestly downright deplorable. Um, and I want to start off this by saying that I do understand why some people see a certain appeal in being a trad wife. I think there are two reasons for this. I think A, like I said, it can sometimes become this kind of like Cinderella fantasy thing. And part of that is because the economy is so bad right now. It's horrible for all of us, and especially for young people, and especially for young people who came up during COVID, etc. And honestly, the Trump regimes, and yeah, it makes the economy in America trash, but it also makes the economy in the world as a whole trash. And obviously, for all of eternity, everyone's been wanting to get out of the rat race. We like to say the children yearn for the mines, but actually, they don't. None of us do. We don't want to be in a mine or in a corporate mill. Like, it sucks. And sometimes you think, oh my god, what can I do to get out of this? And it's the whole thing of like, oh, marrying rich. But now people aren't even trying just to marry rich. They're just trying in general. Like, they're marrying guys who aren't even rich. So I'm like, what's the point? But that is besides the point. The point is that there are some very real things that makes this become a it seemed like an opportunity for people. Also, there are all of these, again, political forces. I think we have a bunch of honestly paid off as fuck Mormon influencers and other influencers who are promoting a lifestyle that not only isn't attainable, but it's not real and it's not actually desirable. But we keep getting fed all of this like tradwife things, and I know I see it. I'm 26. I can't even imagine what y'all are seeing who are like 18 or even below. Um, but there's a lot of propaganda, and it comes from very different places as of late. And a lot of the times, sometimes you don't even want something, you just keep seeing it and seeing it and seeing it, like seeing the McDonald's sign everywhere, and all of a sudden you're like, fuck, do I want McDonald's? Even though you didn't really want McDonald's, but all of a sudden you do, because you keep seeing it. And I think that's the same with the tri-wife thing. I think it's like, it's a sort of inception, where they keep just showing you this until you're like, oh my gosh, should I be a trad wife? Should I try? No, you shouldn't be a trad wife. You shouldn't try. And I'm gonna tell you why in today's video, because honestly, I'm pissed off with the whole thing. So, because what is a trad wife? A trad wife is a quote-unquote traditional wife, although I would argue that it ain't traditional at all, because women have always been working, and even women who don't work have traditionally been in relationships with hopefully people who see them as people who work with them, husbands who want to be partners, and our fathers that want to be fathers, not just running around getting children with some tri-wife and ignoring the children, but actually raising their children. But if you enter into this trad-wife thing, the whole thing about it is like, you're a woman who's married to a man. The man works. He doesn't do anything else, really. He just works. And a lot of them are influencers, and they're doing the same job. But then for some reason, the woman does all the cooking. She does all the cleaning. She does all the, like, baby stuff. And she just runs around trying to be hot all the time. Which is like, it shouldn't take you that much time to be hot, first of all. You can just wake up, slap on some makeup if you want, you can go to the gym. Like, it shouldn't take all day. That is also besides the point, but honestly, it shouldn't take all day. You shouldn't have a 24,000 step skincare routine or whatever to be hot, then maybe you're not hot. Oh my god, who said that? The point is, if you're in this situation, if the man is working, and you're not. And you're doing all this other stuff, which is labor, by the way. It's just unpaid labor, it's unseen labor, but you're spending time being hot, but you're also cooking, you're cleaning, you're making decisions, you're taking care of the children, you're working, 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 but you're not seeing a cent. The only dollars you see are what a man provides you. That gives you a power dynamic, and that's the whole problem, right? Because the person who has the money is the person who is in charge. You see this over and over and over. Even in Gabrielle Union's book, she's not a tradwife, she's a successful actress. She said that when she married a super famous rich athlete, she noticed, like, oh my God, I have less power in this relationship, even though she's rich. But he's like rich, 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 you know? And imagine if a person who is a millionaire in their own right feels the power dynamics of dating someone who's like a mega millionaire. How do you think you would feel if you're dating someone who's making money, who's paying for everything, who gives you allowance, and you don't make a damn cent? You feel powerless because you are. Because at any point in time, he can say, I don't want this anymore, and throw you out on the streets. And there are so many former trad wives who are speaking out because they're on food stamps. They didn't have housing. They still have the kids. Obviously, they still have the kids. But them and the kids, they don't have anything. The man has it because the man always had it. And here's the thing, when you're in that type of situation, if you're still in a relationship, there is a power dynamic. He is making money. What is your job? Your job isn't to be a homemaker. Your job isn't to be a wife. Your job is to serve him, because if he doesn't like you and like what you're doing, you don't have any money. That's your source of income. Your job is to be agreeable. Your job is to be moldable. And obviously, as they keep on saying, your job is to be attractive. Being attractive is good and fine, but having to like run on this fucking mill, sort of like the corporate mill, by the way, but this mill of being attractive for some man because he's paying your bills is not only degrading, but exhausting. Waking up every single day and be like, oh my God, do I look good enough now? Oh my God, my husband's coming home. What is he gonna think? Does he like my outfit? What a way to live. I would honestly probably rather ask his a job a little than being so terrified all the time, not being attractive enough in my own home, or not being able to disagree with your partners or the person who's supposed to be your partner, because what if you piss him off and he doesn't want to give you allowance? What then? Or what if he decides, hey, we're going super, super Christian right now? You have to be moldable. You have to be like, okay, fine, we're going super Christian. Because if not, you don't have a job. You don't have a source of income. You have to be what he wants you to be. And not only is this your job, this is a job without job security. At least, for example, in my job as a bartender, if something were to happen, I have sickness days. I have, built up capital within the system of Norway so that if I were to lose my job, I get money from the state. If something happens to me, I have insurance. And you have to, someone has to let you know if you're going to get fired. You can't just be kicked out on the day. You can if you're a trad wife. Plus, if I were to lose my job, I could go and get another job because I have an education. I have experience. The real trad wives, like actual, like traditional wives, are people who usually have higher education or some experience in the workforce. This new breed of trad wives are 18, 19-year-old girls who are getting married off or getting pregnant, who don't have anything. They literally have nothing. They don't have money. They don't have job experience. They don't have education. They don't have job security. I can go get a job on the basis of my bachelor's, soon my master's, on my 10 years of experience as a worker. But if you lose your job as a trad wife, and especially if you lose your job because you ain't hot enough anymore, you can't just go out and get another job as a tradwife, and especially with all the children you're like running along with, because now the Trump administration is going full Nazi Germany and being like, oh my god, if you have so many children, we're gonna give you a medal. Thank you, a fucking medal. How about, money for the kids? No. Also, there's another thing you get with having your own job or your own business, your own education, your own life. And that is a sense of achievement. A fundamental problem with tradwifing that we saw when this was like running rampant in the 1950s is that this gives you lack of sense of achievement. You don't have anything, you're not doing anything, you're not achieving anything. You think, oh my god, they were just running around these pretty dresses and getting their hair done. They were high all the time. They had alcoholism. Women took 70% less suicide when, sorry, you two, I can't say the word. Women chose 70% less to end their lives when what was it called? Anyways, yeah, when no-fault divorce came. When no-fault divorce came, we had 70% more women each year who were still with us. 70%. Because they hated their lives. They knew that they were trapped, and they were trapped. Women today are trapping themselves. Women then, they were genuinely trapped. They couldn't just go out and get a divorce, and they couldn't just go out and get an education in the same way you can. But if you only live for someone else, you don't get real sense of achievement. Everything you feel is going to be dependent on how they feel, and spoiler alert, how they feel is going to be up and down, and it's going to be based on shitty things, because that is my next point. What kind of person wants a tradwife? What kind of man wants a tradwife? A man who is insecure. If you're not insecure, you don't care if your girlfriend is achieving cool things, if she's like, if she has her dream career, if she's getting her education, if other people talk to her, if other people admire her. But if you're insecure, you want a woman who won't challenge you in any way, who won't, state her opinion, who won't outshine you, who won't be more intelligent than you, or if she is more intelligent than you, she'll pretend that she's not, like men used to always want us to do, pretend like we're not intelligent when obviously women are, clearly. So yeah, if you're just being a mouse, hiding yourself all the time, and you're not having your own life, and you're just trying to please this insecure man, it's just bad on all accounts, because you can't please an insecure man because he's insecure, and it doesn't have to do with you. How he treats you isn't going to be a reflection of how good you are at tradwifing. It's going to be a reflection of how he feels. If you had a shitty day at work, he's going to treat you like shit. If he feels like a god, maybe he'll take you out to a nice dinner, but it doesn't matter, because your life is still empty. And I've always said that. I've always said insecure guys are the most dangerous guys. And insecure guys are the guys who want tradwives, because again, they don't want any competition. And insecure guys are unstable. They are needy. They can get violent. What else did I say? They're punishing. Yes, that's the thing. And they're unpredictable. They're moody. Because they feel so bad about themselves. If you feel good about yourself, that's going to annoy them. And especially if you feel good about yourself because of something other than them. And all of this self-hatred and all of the thoughts they have about themselves, or the things that other people say to them about them, or that they even perceive because they're psycho, is going to be put onto you. You're the punching bag. You're a almost free punching bag, really, because domestic labor pays for itself. It's just, I don't know how to explain it, but if you met an insecure guy, you know that they're never going to try to rise to your level. They're always going to try to pull you down. They I don't even know how to say this or like how to do it without using examples. I'm going to use some examples later on from literature. But basically, insecure guys do not want you to feel good, and they're just going to try to put you down, and they're moody because honestly, they're little bitches. So, yeah. For example, have you read, what's it called? A Doll's House. Have you read A Doll's House by Ibsen? A Doll's House is the story of a tradwife when tradwifing was necessary, the 1800s. So in the 1800s in Norway, we had a bunch of tradwives, mostly rich women, because again, middle class women and working class women have always worked. Anyways, there's this woman, she's with a man, she got money to save his life because she loved him and also she needed him. That's her husband, that's her, like, the father of her children. And when he finds out that she didn't just rely on the money he gave her, when he finds out that she took out a loan and she's paying down that loan that she used to save his life instead of spending it on pretty clothes and candy like she's supposed to, because that's what she gets allowance for, to be pretty and to eat candy because she has a sweet tooth. He is disgusted and angered. And why is that? Why wouldn't he be happy because she saved his life? Because she saved his life. He doesn't want that. It makes him feel small, weak, emasculated, because he's insecure. He's insecure. He would have rather died than have his wife save his life. And that brings me on to the next story that I want to talk about, which I'm sure you've heard about, which is from the Batman animated series and also from DC Comics. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called, Mad Love. Yes, Mad Love, a story about the Joker and Harley where Joker's just abusing the hell out of her and she thinks, it's because he's mad because of the Batman. Because again, insecure, loser guys like the Joker will always take out their feelings under a free punching bag, which Harley was for the Joker for many years. So she tries to take out Batman. She gets so much closer than the Joker's ever gotten. She has Batman hanging over this like aquarium of piranhas and she's about to drop it in, but the Batman says, if the piranhas eat me, there won't be any residue, basically. It'll just be bones. It could be anyone. The Joker won't believe that you did it because the Batman knows that the Joker will never let Harley get away with it. So she calls the Joker comes immediately, he punches the hell out of her. Eventually he throws her out of a window because he wanted to be the one that killed Batman. He wanted Batman dead, absolutely, but not if someone else did it. Just like Helmer in A Doll's House would rather die than have his wife save his life, the Joker would rather be killed by his enemy or like have his enemy running around than have his girlfriend do it, because like he is thinking when he's in the car on the way up there, he's seeing all of these like men in his field, aka other supervillains, saying like, there's the boyfriend of Harley Quinn, Mr. Harley Quinn, the boyfriend of the girl who killed Batman, that's his worst fear. His worst fear isn't being punched. It isn't going to Arkham. It isn't even being killed. His worst fear is that people will see his girlfriend as more respected than him. Because he hates her. Because men who don't want women to succeed hate them. Not only don't they respect them, they get disgusted by the thought of other people respecting them and thinking of them before they think about the man themselves. It's pathetic. The Joker is pathetic. Helmer is pathetic. These guys who want tradwives are pathetic, and that's my point. One thing is, let's say there was this like actual fucking fairy tale prince who wanted to have you in his castle, Beauty and the Beast style. He kidnapped her, but still. That'd be one thing, I guess, but that isn't the reality, because men that are actual partners that love and respect and care for you don't just want to put you in one box and force you to be this puppet. They want you to have a whole personality where maybe, yeah, you do want to stay home with your kids for a few years, but also maybe you want to run your own company or be a CEO of another company. But the men who are specifically looking for tradwives are insecure pieces of garbage who will treat you like garbage because that's how they feel about themselves. And they do not want you to be respected or to be a person. They just want you to be like a little offshoot of them, like a tiny one, like a little, like, oh, look, this is like something that kind of represents me. And isn't she so pretty and so, like, I don't even want to say funny, because they don't necessarily even want you to be funny. Like the Joker definitely doesn't want Harley to be funny. Yes. They don't want you to achieve, and they don't want you to be a person, really. They don't. They basically want you to be Iris and Companion. Have you seen Companion? It's about, well, basically about the future. It's about these super realistic AI robots that you can get as a girlfriend, and they'll be whoever you want them to be. You can adjust their looks, you can adjust like their eye color, their intelligence, their voice. And if you want them, you can say, wake up. Like her name's Iris, says, wake up, Iris. If you want him to like be gone, like the Joker always wants at Harley, you can just say, go to sleep, Iris, and they'll be asleep until you want them again. That's what they want. They want someone who's there when they want them and not there when they don't want them. Someone who's not too much of a bother. Someone who will be whatever they want him to be. Again, moldable. And honestly, if AI robots could spit out kids, then I am so sure that these trad men would prefer them to women, because they wouldn't age either, you know? And living a life as a trad wife that is literally one-to-one with being Iris and Companion, is that personhood? Is that being a person? Is that living? No, it's not living. It's not being alive. It's literally, it's just servitude. It's just servitude. It's not real even. And that's the thing. The worst case scenario, and honestly the most likely scenario for most tradwives, again, not talking about stay-at-home mothers, that's a totally different story. Most stay-at-home mothers have their own lives. They have hobbies, interests, they've worked for some years, they have an education, etc., whatever. I'm talking about tradwives. Worst case scenario, most likely scenario, women are coming out and talking about this, is that in 10, 20, 30 years, when you're just not doing it for him anymore, you're going to get kicked out in your house, you're still going to have your kids, your responsibilities, you're not going to have any real things. You're not going to have any money. You're not going to have any education. You're not going to have any experience. You're not starting at zero, because starting at zero would be going into the workforce at like 15, 20, 25. When you go into the workforce with zero experience in your 40s, in your 50s, you start at below zero, because it's just not desirable in the job market. Unfortunately, it should be. It really, really should be. But it's not, because it shows that, or it seems like you're not the type of person that really wants to work, and it makes people not want to hire you. And they think, oh, she hasn't been keeping up. She doesn't know what the trends are in the market. She doesn't know how to use Excel or whatever, you know? And that's the worst case scenario. You know what the best case scenario is? The best case scenario is that you are so good at playing a sexy robot, that you're so good at going to the gym, at taking care of the kids, at smiling even though you're in pain, at laughing at your husband's stupid jokes, at pretending you're not as intelligent as you are, and basically of denying yourself. If you can deny yourself, and deny yourself for 70 years, then yeah, maybe you'll get some designer clothes out of it, but then like a nice house, but not much more. And it's not your house either, it's your husband's house. Because here's the thing, the only thing you have is what is yours. You have your experience, your charisma, your personality, your intelligence, your beauty, all of that you have. You have your bank account, you have your assets, You have what is yours. You don't have what is your husband's. If the house is in your husband's name, that's not your house. If the car is in your husband's name, not your car. If the bank account is your husband's, that's not your bank account. Maybe you can access it for now, but it is not yours. The only thing that's yours is what is truly yours. And that's the whole problem with the tradwife thing, is that it's basically taken women back hundreds of years to when we didn't have shit. Because if you're just using your husband's stuff, that isn't yours. You are accessing something for as long as you're willing to play nice, and the second you're not, you're cut off. You need to build yourself. So no matter what kind of relationship you're wanting, what kind of situation you're wanting out of life, you have to always remember that you need to have things that are yours. And honestly, not just interests. You need to have your own interests 100%. You need something that you can use financially to secure yourself in life. The smart people are the people who at least work for some years and have a bank account separate from their husband. So if you're going into like a tradwife type of situation or whatever, honestly, have things that are just yours. Because if it fails, that's what you have. And even if you're in a rocky situation and your allowance gets cut off, you have something that's yours. If you don't, you're screwed. So yes, thank you for listening to me. I am just so hoping that all of my viewers know, love, and respect themselves and will stand up for themselves and make good decisions for themselves and not act out of being scared of the workforce, even though it sucks, or being scared of their situation, or romanticizing things that are toxic, but make decisions based on longevity and based on believing in yourself. Just the only thing you can truly control is yourself. So if you believe in yourself, that's the best situation. And you should. If you're here, I believe in you. So believe in yourself, okay? Thank you. Bye.